Blake Lively is coming for content creator information, and me being one of them, we're gonna get into it. Plus, we're gonna be talking about Jaclyn Hill talking about the lipstick scandal, what Justin Bieber has had to say since his album has come out, well, more so Sexy Red, Benson Boone clapping back at Renee Rapp. We're gonna get into everything that has been on my timeline this week. Oh, and like a small Love Island update, but I, will spare the people that don't really watch it. It'll be small, I promise. Hey guys, it's Christy and welcome back to the weekly TEACAP. There's been so much that's happened this week. So let's first talk about this whole Benson Boone situation. As you guys know, we've talked about Benson on the channel before. He's been getting a lot of backlash for the fact that people don't feel like he's authentic, his whole brand and everything. People feel like he's an industry plant, and he has been clapping back at a lot of the backlash that he has received since his album has come out and with all the things that are being said about him online. But Renee Rapp recently did an interview where she was talking to Amy Poehler about the fact that we got to cut like flipping out, doing backflips and things like that. And Benson Boone is known for doing flips. And so he, of course, had to respond because everyone was like, she's 100% shading Benson Boone.
I'm not big into boys flipping, doing backflips. We got to cut that out.
Why are we cutting this out?
Okay.
Why does Renee Rapp not like Joey?
What the hell? Was that bleeped? What the crap? Did Renee say that?
I'm not big into boys flipping, doing backflips. We got to cut that out.
Okay, Renee. So I see that you have pointed a gun in my direction. I'm just going to put up a shield, deflect it, and hope that it comes back your way. You try doing a backflip, okay? You try doing a backflip, and then let me know how that goes. And once you master how to do it, then maybe you can tell me what to stop or start doing, okay? Until I see that backflip, I will be flipping in your face for the next generation, okay? Thank you very much.
I feel like the drama there isn't that deep. It is just easy to like poke fun at Benson right now because there are just so many things being said about him, but that's what he had to say in response to Renee. Now, as for Jaclyn Hill, she recently brought up the lipstick scandal when she posted on TikTok. If you guys have been here for a while, then you obviously remember the lipstick scandal that basically ruined Jaclyn Hill's company. She launched her Jaclyn Hill Cosmetics with a line of lipsticks. There ended up being hair and just random shards and things in these lipsticks. It was this whole big drama, and her company never really bounced back from the situation. But she posted this on TikTok the other day. It was a photo of her, and it said, "What do you mean it drained the life out of you?" And in the caption, she said, "The world will never know how much my lipstick launch changed me for the rest of my life. I was unable to ever express to my followers what it did to me because it would have made me the victim. I've never experienced depression like that, and I still fear it. My rock bottom was so scary, and I promised myself I'll never return to that place. Life is still worth living." And she also posted this photo on the next slide. And in the comments, someone said, "Unpopular opinion, I don't think people even cared about the issue with the lipsticks. I think they only wanted to jump on a cancel bandwagon and bring you down." And she said, "Well, that's a hot take." Someone else said, "Over lipstick, the beauty industry can be so evil. The beauty industry is the ugliest." I feel like the beauty community was just so hot at that time. There were so many eyes on the beauty community, and people were receiving these lipsticks, and slowly all these photos started coming out, all this information about the labs she used and animals in the labs and fuzzy gloves. And I think, really did blow things out of proportion when, she tried to say that this is why it happened, but everyone was like, that doesn't make any sense. And it just snowballed into this huge scandal that really ended up never being able to revive Jaclyn Cosmetics to be like the big brand that she wanted it to be. It's just so crazy, like looking back and thinking about the lipstick scandal and like the things that we're covering today. I feel like the lipstick scandal was such a big deal back then in like the drama world. And then ever since then, like the stories of influencer cancellations have gotten a lot deeper, and we're talking about crimes, and it's insane. Now, to get into something else, as far as Justin Bieber, his album Swag came out last week. A lot of people have been listening to it, digesting the lyrics, the songs, all of that, and he had a song with Sexy Red on the album, and he posted a video after the album came out. It was a video with Sexy Red. The two of them are together. It looks like they're in the studio, and he gives her a kiss on the head, and of course everyone's like freaking out, just like they did when he kissed her on the cheek in that one video. I think it was around her birthday and they were at the club. Because I think any normal person is just like, I wouldn't want like my partner to be kissing somebody else, like even if it's in a platonic way, just not always like the thing that most people are comfortable with. But because so many people were talking about it, Sexy Red did address it in the comment section, and Justin Bieber liked her comment. She said, I see two friends of the opposite sex having fun, making music about their significant others. I don't see anything wrong. It's sexy. So clearly they don't see anything wrong with it. And you know, if their partners don't care, then I guess we shouldn't care either. But anyway, let's get into this Love Island drama before we get into the Blake Lively mess of it all, because it is truly a mess. But in a Love Island update, Huda and Amaya went on Call Her Daddy this week, and Huda's episode really stirred the pot, okay? She admitted that there was sexual tension between her and Ace in the villa because she did find him attractive. She liked him at one point in time. And in regards to the heart rate challenge, which, you know, there was a big debate online of, you know, did Shelly overreact during the heart rate challenge? Did Huda do too much? What was the deal? Because we didn't see the full extended footage. Hopefully they give us the full extended footage at the reunion so everybody can just decide for themselves what the heck went down. But in Huda's response to Alex, she said that she basically licked Ace from, you know, his D up, a move that we've seen her do before. She did it to Chris, she did it to Jeremiah, and then she denied sitting on his face, which is something that Taylor and Clark, in an interview with Chicks in the Office, they said that Huda did sit on his face and she was just doing her big one. She did too much, and they felt like Shelly did have a right to be upset. Well, after Huda went on Call Her Daddy, Alandria and Shelly unfollowed Huda, so I feel like the reunion is going to be very juicy. We are going to get a lot of tea. There's going to be tension in the room. She also called out Chris because she said that Chris, you know, said on the show that they had sex, they did it. She did not want her business aired out like that. She did not like the way that he talked about it. She claimed that the way he talked about it was like bragging about the fact that they had sex, and she said like he barely even put it in. When, you know, when you watch the show back, what he actually said to Brian was, I folded, and then he said that he felt like it brought them closer together. Their connection was stronger after. He didn't say anything bad. He wasn't trying to brag. He wasn't like, yeah, like I bagged this, you know, super fine girl. So people were just like, interesting. So that was the tea with the Love Island drama. Now you guys, let's buckle up for this Blake Lively story, because this was something that I was not expecting. I haven't made a Justin and Blake Lively update video in a little while because I honestly just felt like you guys were tired of it, and I was too. Like, I felt like we were getting updates every single week, and the trial isn't supposed to be until next year. So I was like, you know what, let me take a break from giving updates because it just felt very repetitive, right? I mean, every update is just like, you know, the lawyers going back and forth, a lot of articles, and I just felt like we needed a break. In that break though, I get this email from Google saying that Blake Lively has subpoenaed Google and they want my information. I'm like, oh my gosh, it says at google.com. So I was like, it can't be a scam. It has to be legit. I sent it over to my lawyer and he was like, yep, it's real. They want a lot of stuff. I mean, it's not a big deal, but it kind of is at the same time. Like, my lawyer's like really concerned about the privacy aspect of it all. I mean, I have nothing to hide. I'm kind of speculating, and I know there's like 15 or 16 other creators that were also sent the same email that are also speculating that Blake might be wanting some sort of evidence. She's like looking to see if Justin and his team like paid people off to make videos about her or something, which is absolutely ridiculous because that is not the case here. I'm just popping in here as I'm editing this because I have gotten confirmation that this is the information that they are seeking. Like, they subpoenaed Google to look through the emails and the bank information to try and see if Justin or Justin's team reached out to me and or these other creators and paid us to make videos about Blake. And I don't know what videos her team, you know, saw or how they flagged my channel, but the first couple videos that I made in regards to Blake suing Justin, I was disgusted by Justin Baldoni. When the New York Times article came out about Blake Lively, I was completely on her side. I was horrified reading the things that happened to her on set, especially the way that she described the birthing scene and how she felt uncomfortable with him coming into her dressing room. Like, all these things, I was like very much on her side. I mean, upon further things coming out, I was a little bit more hesitant to be like fully on anyone's side because there was just so much coming out in footage, and I felt like footage just didn't match what she was saying. And so, I don't know, I just really held back on my opinions because it just felt like I didn't know where to stand. It was getting very messy very quickly. I've also been seeing like the other creators that have received this that have spoken out, and some of them have like 40 subscribers. So there's something just so odd. It feels so random. It's like, you know, why these certain people, what made them think there's something here? There's got to be something here. But apparently what they want is your name, your address, your email, your backup email, your banking info. Like, it's like, not that I have anything to hide, but like, you guys aren't going to find anything. And also, you know, there's like this question of the privacy aspect, which is like what my team is concerned with, is like, you know, what happens with this information afterwards? Is this going to be on public record? Because there's so many people that are digging into this case, right? Because so many people are fascinated by what's going on with Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni and the whole lawsuit. So what's going to happen? Is this information going to be made public? What's the deal? That's the biggest concern of this whole thing, especially the bank info. Like, what, girl, what? Also, just like in every video that I've ever made talking about this entire situation, I said it from the beginning that I truly personally just felt like the way that Blake promoted the movie It Ends With Us just didn't sit right with people. And all she had to do was come out and say, hey guys, I just really missed the mark there. I messed up. I didn't promote it the way that, you know, respective victims of DV. I just didn't do the movie justice and left it at that. I feel like people would have been like, okay, like, you know, at least you took accountability for that. But because she's like stood 10 toes down on like how she promoted the movie and this whole lawsuit with Justin, everyone's just been like, where's the accountability? You can't take any accountability at all. And so there's just been this like growing dislike for her. And I feel like it's really just ruined, you know, her reputation because it's like rubbed people the wrong way. I don't think it's anything that other people have been doing. I mean, of course, you know, people talking about it and reporting on it, you know, adds to people not liking her. But I do think like it stems with people just getting a bad vibe from what she was doing first. So I was definitely surprised when I saw this in my inbox because I was like, you know, I'm not out here like, I hate Blake Lively. I don't hate Blake Lively. I don't hate Justin Baldoni. I feel like I've tried to remain somewhere in the middle just because there's been so much that's been going on. In the beginning, I was riding so hard for Blake. And even to this day, on a reel that I posted the day after the New York Times article came out, people still comment on that and they're like, you're wrong, you're wrong, you're wrong. Because I'm like defending Blake in that. And they're like, you need to read the info. Even though it's like, okay, if you look at the date, you can see there was no other information besides Blake's side at that time, but people still try to clock me for like how on her side I was. But of course, like upon Justin's lawsuit coming out as well and us reading his complaint, there was a shift in like, oh, some of the things that she was saying he has explanations for, or he has proof of it being different. It's just been a very interesting situation, and I wanted to sit down and talk to you guys about this mess that has been occurring behind the scenes, what Blake is doing, coming after creators now, it seems. Popping in here once again because I've been seeing so many people talk about this because some people have made it public that, you know, they were sent the Google subpoena. And I just feel like, you know, it once again makes it look like she doesn't want to take accountability for ruining her reputation. Like, she is very adamant that it was Justin and his team that were paying people to make videos that made her look bad and thus causing her cancellation. When in reality, that's just not the case. I mean, there are genuinely so many people that just didn't like the way that she promoted It Ends With Us and didn't like reading how she took over this movie, that her and Ryan used their, you know, status and fame to gain control of this movie over Justin and his company that just didn't have as big of a name as Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds. So for her to like once again be coming at creators and being like, I feel like you were paid, like, let me see your info. It's just like, once again, not pointing the finger inward and taking accountability, and it just doesn't come off the right way. It's like rubbing people wrong. And I heard that people on Twitter were also sent a subpoena, like Twitter was subpoenaed for Twitter users who were potentially contacted to like tweet out stuff that was negative about Blake. It just looks like she doesn't want to take accountability for her actions. She's like adamant that people were paid to not like her. Like, she
does not believe that people genuinely criticized her.
But I guess we will just have to see what happens if something comes out of like the 15, 16 people that she decided to subpoena Google for. But that is the update on Blake Lively, what is currently going on. I certainly want to know what you guys think about this whole mess, plus everything else we talked about today, from Benson Boone to the Love Island drama, Justin Bieber. Let me know all of your thoughts in the comments. I love you guys so much, and I will talk to you in the next video. Bye, guys.